Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of BNA Sports Talk. And I recorded this intro way too many times because I don't know why it's hard to explain. I'm getting my wisdom teeth taken out on Tuesday, August 4th. And yeah, so I'm pre-recording this video. This video should be uploaded on August 4th, and I have my NFL predictions. It's going to be with some music, but today I'm explaining my predictions using my analytics and my power rankings that I previously did in my episode of BNA Sports Podcast. Over the past 2 months, I've been gradually doing this, ranking the quarterbacks, coaches, and defenses. We're adding them up all together today, and I plan on doing some other videos like ranking divisions and everything like that under the sun. But today's the first kind of episode, my official power rankings for the 2020 season, and it kind of explains my predictions and things like that. I'll make a separate video doing MVPs and things like that, maybe some best value bets, but let's just get into the video. So number one is the Chiefs. I have their quarterback Patrick Mahomes ranked as the S tier. I also have their coach ranked as S tier. Their defense is B. I think they take a little bit of a step back this year because Steve Spagnuolo is a great coach. I think that offenses are going to catch up to them a little bit. I subtract 1 point from them, giving them 14 points overall. And that makes them first place. Number two is the Ravens. Their A is all around. I don't think Lamar Jackson is S quite yet. Needs a little bit of work on passing. Can he be solved in the playoffs? I'm not too sure, but their coaching is an A. Their defense is an A, especially their defensive coach, Dave Martindale. I think their linebackers needs a little bit of work. You have Patrick Queen, but you lost C.J. Mosley. It's generally a weak point to their defense, but they have some strong safety play last year with Earl Thomas and, Chuck Gailey. I think I'm saying his name wrong, but you guys know who I'm talking about. And adding the defensive line, Calais Campbell, this is going to be a defensive line, whatever. So next is the Bucks. I have Tom Brady at a B. He's around the 12th or 13th best quarterback. Recently, he's been throwing the ball away a lot. And he's been doing that for a couple of years, throwing at the feet of receivers. Not really that analytically friendly, but the guy's not open, so throw at his feet. Don't take the sack. Don't take the intentional grounding. And yeah, he's smart like that. Don't think he has the best arm anymore. Like that quick, the quick kind of, the guy's heading downfield. I'm going to try to bomb it down there. I don't think he has that anymore. I think that was lost back probably 5-6 years ago. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see where he does there. I don't think their defense is quite S tier. I think their cornerbacks overperformed last year. And then you have some aging guys on the defensive line. Don't trust it that much. But Devin White, Vita Vea, they got some young guys there. And coach S tier. I subtract 1 point from them because of Corona, Tom Brady's, chemistry with his wide receivers and things like that. Next, I have the Saints at my number 4 spot and 49ers at number 5 spot. They're tied. They both have a B quarterback and then AA for their, defense and coach. Their defensive coach is kind of the story with them. It's going to be very interesting to see their matchup and what's going to happen there. Next, the Steelers. Just really surprised me how they were number 6. But, you do the math. And their coach is a B. I don't think Mike Tomlin is a genius. People are like, oh, he's the coach of the year. Really? Do you think he did that much last year? And, you have Ben Roethlisberger, who's a B too. He may be an A quarterback, which, BNA. So, he might be an A quarterback, but I have him as a B now, but their defense is elite with TJ Watt. That secondary is getting better. Next, I have the Bills. I give them an A, an A defense and an A coach. I don't think their defense is really quite legit. Their defensive line kind of scares me. Ed Oliver had some, I guess, police scares and problems with the law, but everything looks to be good with that. Sean McDermott, he was really successful with the Carolina Panthers. He seems like he's building something with the Bills. Their quarterback is a C. He did well on third downs. I just think that downfield accuracy, kind of like with Jimmy Garoppolo, but even worse than that, it's going to be the detriment to them this year. But I added a point to them because they're returning everybody, and you have that Stephon Diggs. Next, you have the Titans, B quarterback. And I think Ryan Tannehill is on the same level of Tom Brady and Drew Brees. I really do. He's going to regress back to the mean this year a little bit, which is why I don't have him A. He's around the 10th or 11th quarterback, a little bit worse than a Dak Prescott, but he's good. He has a lot of things that he still needs to learn. Struggles with reading defenses sometimes, but he's legit. If this defense adds Jadeveon Clowney, I think they will be an A, but for now, I think it's a teetering on B, but I have them A, and then their coaching, I have A. So, yeah, everything like that is legit. I think that the Titans are a legit contender. They should be the favorites in the AFC South. Next, they have the Eagles. I have Carson Wentz at an A for now, but it's teetering on B. I'm doing a film analysis on him. I think he's going to be just fine. But because a lot of his wide receivers weren't that open last year, it's not going to be much different this year. But I think it's going to be a little bit better. And you still have a decent enough offensive line. Your defense is a B. Darius Slay doesn't really improve them that much. I think they struggle generating a pass rush. They may even be maybe in a C tier, running back team. And then coach B. Doug Peterson, he's made to be some genius. I think he's above average. I just don't think he's great. And so the Eagles are 9th. Next, the Seahawks, number 11. Really what's driving this team is Russell Wilson. He's an S tier quarterback. Their defense is a C. I don't care about Jamal Adams. I think that they're not going to be able to generate a pass rush, which is what concerns me. Next, the Patriots, which they're number 11. They're B, C, and S. Obviously, Bill Belichick is what's driving this team. Their defense, a bunch of people dropping out. That's been the story for them. What tied for them is the Broncos. I don't love Drew Lock because he wasn't really taking a lot of deep shots down the field, and I think he's going to learn a lot this year. Their left tackle just dropped out of the season. That's going to be a detriment, and obviously a lot of these rankings are going to change if a big player drops out, like if a quarterback drops out, if Tom Brady drops out. Obviously, I don't know who's the backup quarterback at Tampa Bay. I kind of forget, but you guys know what I'm saying. So next you have the Bears. Their quarterback is a D, but their defense and coaching staff, I trust a little bit more. I don't love the Bears coaching staff because Matt Nagy doesn't want to run, but they're still going to be up there like that. And I think that their defense is really going to drive this team. You need to up the play for the secondary this year in order for this defense really to be legit. The Vikings lost a lot of players. They're really young, which is why I gave them a little bit of a downgrade. I think the Bears are the best team in this division on paper. I'm not really talking about, what's going to end up happening. You'll see that in my NFL predictions. I already saw that in my NFL predictions. But I give their quarterback a B. Kirk Cousins is a low-end B-tier quarterback. Doesn't do anything special, but execute an offense just well. Their coaching is an A. Mike Zimmer, against the spread as far as projections and expectations, he always exceeds those. Next to Browns, I give them a cab. So their offense their quarterback is a C-tier quarterback. Baker Mayfield, he has some accuracy issues. I think he's going to realize this year a little bit better what his athleticism, his shortcomings for that are. And then, A-tier defense just signed up Myles Garrett. You have, Ward getting that secondary better. Now you have Greedy Williams in his second year. That secondary is really going to start shaping up. Question who's going to be their safety and who's really going to take that role. Is it Grant in his, freshman year or rookie year, for better words? But yeah, and then Kevin Stefanski, I mentioned it in a different video. He has no sort of structure or plan. That could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. It's going to be very interesting for the Browns. They're number 15 around, midway through the league. Raiders, I gave them triple Bs. Derek Carr is pretty good. He's like Ryan Tannehill. I just want to see him taking a little bit more deep shots down the field. I upgraded him a little bit because of that John Gruden effect, because it's like us against the world. I really like that. Even though they're not going to have a huge home field advantage, nobody is. So that's something like that. And I think their defense is criminally underrated. Prince Mara, Corey Littleton, Max Crosby. I mean, this defense has talent all over the board. And yeah, so next, Colts 17. There's a little bit of a surprise for me. I ranked Phillip Rivers as a C-tier quarterback, but I upgraded them a little bit. I was thinking about downgrading them because, Phillip Rivers, camaraderie, but him and his offensive coordinator, I think, are going to work really well because they did really well together in Los Angeles. Their defense is A-tier, not teetering on S-tier, but we'll see these guys take a step forward. I don't really love their secondary. Your linebackers are the strength of this defense with Darius Leonard, with Okereke and things like that. Don't love the defensive line either, but DeForest Buckner is going to do pretty well for them. Next, you have the Cowboys, ABC. Now, Dak Prescott is an A-tier quarterback, great processor, not always amazingly accurate down the field. He was a little bit injured towards the end of last year. I think he really takes a step up this year. I have Mike McCarthy as a C rating. I mentioned that in my video. Why? You're going to have to check it out. And then B tier for defense. I don't love their secondary. They lost Robert Quinn, but they have DeMarcus Lawrence, who's going to be more motivated this year, and they have a lot of returning linebackers. Next, I have the Packers at number 19. Their quarterback is still in A tier, but he is declining a little bit. He's extra motivated this year. I had to dock them some points though, because I don't think Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers are going to be on the same page really this year. They exceeded expectations last year. Their defense is a B and their coach is a C. Matt LaFleur, you think he had a revelation. You think Cliff Kingsbury in college didn't really work out, but it's a different game. There's a reason why he's successful in the NFL and not in college. Matt LaFleur wasn't successful in the NFL. You think all of a sudden he's a genius? I don't really buy that. That's just my opinion about that. And then getting into the 20s, you have the Texans and the Cardinals. Then the Cardinals. What basically gets the Texans over the Cardinals is the quarterback. Kyler Murray may well be an A-tier quarterback at the end of this year. I just don't. He just throws a lot of screens and things like that. But timing and passing, I think he's great. I really do. In that defense, you have a bunch of young talent now, as well as some older Patrick Petersons of the world and Chandler Jones. That could be a good mix, and not quite buying Cliff Kingsbury that much, but this team could very well win this division. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Next, the Lions. The quarterback is an A tier, but their defense is a B. They have a bunch of talent, a bunch of experience, but their secondary, I don't love it. I don't trust their safety talent either, and then their coach is a D, which really brings them down. Matt Patricia hasn't really shown enough to me to, make me confident in him. Then the Falcons and the Chargers are tied. I think Matt Ryan is really declining. I was thinking about having him as a C tier, but that's too much disrespect. He's been putting up a lot of stats. He just relies on Julio Jones a lot. And yeah, their coach, Dan Quinn, they should have fired him. But yeah, they'll be gone after this year, and it's going to be definitely interesting to see who replaces them. And then the Chargers, quarterback D, whoever plays. But Joey Bosa on that defense is going to be insane, legit. Derwin James. But they may underperform, whatever. I have them A tier as that. And then coach Anthony Lynn, he's an average coach, so I have him C. Then you have the Rams, Dolphins, Giants, and Redskins. I think there's a divider between the Rams and the next team. They're going to be around an 8-win team this year. Their quarterback isn't great. Their defense isn't great, even though they have Aaron Donald. You have Jalen Ramsey, I understand. But Michael Brockers, too, on the defensive line. I don't love their linebacking talent, and I don't really love their secondary. It feels like it's depleted. Sean McVay, I think, is really smart and will cook some things up on offense to win them some games that they shouldn't. Then, this is like the bottom tier. Everything from 26 on, you have the Jets who just traded Jamal Adams, the Bengals who feel like they're on the up and up, but do you trust their wide receivers? Then the Panthers, who I think they could be the worst team in the league this year. In fact, I put a bet on that. And then the Jaguars, they could surprise some people, as in win a couple of games just by sheer will and effort. And we talked about the Giants all offseason. I don't want to mention them. The Redskins could have a really good defense, but their defensive line, it has a bunch of talent, but I want to see production a little bit more. I want to see those sacks. I want to see a little bit more production, but Chase Young should be able to do that this year, and we'll see how they finagle their secondary. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with my rankings, disagree? And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.